In the past years, in all the big deals, the market has seen circumventing the rules applicable to the share deals. They have used this two-investor model. Don't use partnerships, convert them, do aggression. So you have companies, then take two investors, one 5.1% or more, the other at maximum 94.9%. So you can sell free from any transfer tax, and of course also from any capital gains tax. Now this was the one model. The other was partnerships. You acquire the partnership, wait for 5 years, then you acquire the rest and pay only 5.1% effectively transfer tax. All the 94.9 is not levied. And the legislator has not been quite pleased and has challenged both these models. On the one hand, well, the 5% have become 10%, which is the relevant threshold. The 5 years become 10 years, but more crucial is that a new provision for companies is enacted, which says you can't do it immediately, not only for partnerships as before, also for the companies. You have to do 2 steps in 10 years. And this brings us to a point which is critical for investors. And the legislator has proposed an act, 31 July. The first chamber of parliament said this is how it needs to be done. The second chamber said in September this year, well, there are serious doubts on the constitutional level. First, if you count the shareholdings which can be transferred within the relevant 10 years period, the 90%, well, is it only the new transfers from the enactment of the law or also the older ones? A big concern. The legislator tried to push through, well, past transfers would count as well. The second chamber says, well, we have serious doubts whether this can go. Other thing is there an exception for shareholdings traded at a stock exchange? First chamber said no, second yes. Third point of relevance was these transfers are relevant only between to new shareholders. When does one become an old shareholder? After 10 years. This is the view of the second chamber. The first chamber said not always. And then they have a point whether the group clause, which we have in Germany, an exemption within tax groups, whether this shall also in the future apply only to share deals, share organizations, reorganizations done with contributions, so forth, or also for asset transfers, which is not the case by now. So there are 4 points which delay the full thing from 1st January 2020, when it was supposed to be enacted, to the next year, maybe 1st of July. This is what we hear, but one can't know so precisely.